Hello everyone and welcome back. So I know this is late, but this is something that can be worn any time of year, not just Mother's Day. I had some confusion due to some chaos going in my life. For those of you who don't know, we have been struggling with our son with bullying at school. So I ended up a week behind, thinking Mother's Day was this coming Sunday and not last Sunday, due to all the chaos going on. So with our son being bullied at school, it's caused behavioral issues at home. So we've had some issues. So this is going to be a simple Mother's Day mani that is unfortunately late. Sorry guys. It was a complete mishap. I didn't realize it. So but I still wanted a Mother's Day mani despite being a week behind. So for those of you who are even just celebrating it a week late, this is good for you guys. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but if I can get this, maybe if I zoom in, there we go. So yeah, no, we have Mom and Ain't Easy with butterflies, and we have these beautiful flowers, and Mom Life on the thumb. So this is a nice, simple, elegant Mother's Day mani. And like I said, guys, I am really sorry. This is the first time this one's actually happened. Throughout all of the chaos in my life with my kids, who are both special needs and have had, you know, their own sets of problems and issues between the two of them, I don't think I've ever completely missed a holiday to this extent that I actually planned on doing something for. So I am real sorry, guys. In fact, I didn't even know it was Mother's Day last Sunday until halfway through the day. I had no idea. I had already started dinner, so my original Mother's Day plans just went completely out the window. But we still had a good day. So despite all that, and both my boys were very well behaved, which is unusual for them, but they were. So I'll go ahead and get into the products. So I use this beautiful color from Born Pretty. It was, I don't remember the name of the set. I think it was Milky Magnetic, or Jelly Milky Magnetic, something like that. It was the last Born Pretty collection that I got, and it's a very beautiful, like, not quite lilac, it's softer than that, but very soft, beautiful purple, and it is magnetic. You will need a magnet wand. McCart Nail Art Foil Glue. Born Pretty Stamping Polish. It's a lovely shade of gold. And I used Beetle's No Wipe Top Coat. Both of these are from Uber Chic. I have Uber Chic Mini Mom Mode and Uber Chic Uber Mini Mother's Day. Both plates I will be using in this. So go ahead and set these aside. So the foils that I used are, this is one I got from Amazon. It's a butterfly pack, and I believe this is one I got, it's also from Amazon, but I believe it's McCart brand. This set of foils here. So I have my pieces cut out. I will be using, where is it? Do I have a second one of these on here? I swore I did. Of this particular butterfly. This one's the backwards version, so the one that I want for this finger. Anyways, so I'll be using this butterfly foil for this image right here. And I've already cut some of this lovely floral foil right here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So we will go ahead and get into our design. So I'm going to start with my thumb. We're going to put our first coat. So this will take 2 coats total of this color. The first one, we are going to do the opposite of what we would normally do, which is enhance the magnetic pigments. This time we're going to make them more invisible. Take my rings off so I don't scratch my lamp. And I'll pop it in for 60 seconds. So things have calmed down some. Not enough for me to get to play with stuff. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to get the nail art molds that I had ordered. They got lost in the mail and will need refunds on them. So I have some of the ones that I ordered, but not all of them. So I'm going to have to see if I can get them from a different seller or just ixnay them all together for now until a different seller appears available for them, because I'm not going to buy from the same place again, given that it never arrived. So thankfully, you know, all of the things I always do is prime, and so I don't have any fights getting refunds or anything like that. It's just a matter of annoyance because I already had to wait so many weeks for it to supposed to arrive, and it still hadn't arrived. So that's the struggle I'm dealing with right now. Some of them have arrived, like I said, when they were supposed to, but for some reason about 4 to 5 of them did not arrive, and I don't know what the heck is going on with that, but so we will see. Hopefully I don't have any more hiccups while trying to get something that is in my plans for designs. Okay, so now on our second coat, we're going to enhance our pigments. That is our current goal, which is a lot easier said than done on the actual nail. So there we have it. Cure for 60 seconds. I do believe the neighbors are home. So I hope all of you had a good Mother's Day. You know, and I hope that everything is going well with all of you. I know, you know, this is a tough time of year for some people, and that is completely understandable. It's kind of bittersweet for me at Mother's Day. For those of you who, I believe maybe it was this last October or the October before, I went over, I think it was this last October, I went over pregnancy and infant loss awareness, and explained how we have struggled to have children, and the 2 that we have took a very large mental and physical toll to have. We have lost 3 babies, and 2 of which were in the 2nd trimester, and discovered that I have a severe incompetent cervix and cannot carry to term without severe medical intervention. So it was an extremely difficult process to have my children, and we went through a lot. And so, you know, every Mother's Day is kind of bittersweet because I have, yes, sure, I do have my blessings of the 2 that I still have with me, but it doesn't take away the pain that there were 3 others that, you know, should have been with us. And to add to it, I don't really have a relationship with my own mother. due to her inability to see the traumas that her decisions had made in the past had caused me. And because of those decisions, I don't trust her decision-making process. I don't trust the people that she decides to be with. And I had put rules in place to protect my own children from that. And she didn't like it and just decided to extract herself from our life. So I don't even have a mother in my life. And, you know, looking back at it, I never really did. So Mother's Day is kind of bittersweet for me. But I spend that time nowadays just being grateful for what I still have. Even though it hurts that I don't have a mom to go to and lean on when I need it, I do still have my grandmother. So that does make a big difference. My grandmother has been a massive support system and help with going through all of this. So, okay. So now we're going to take our foil. I'm going to go up in this upper corner here. Now that we have put our foil glue on and cured for 60 seconds, we're going to press the foil in. Pressed in. You can almost exactly see when it starts to separate from the plastic versus when it's not. You're going to want to press down pretty good and then do test peels, okay? So when I say test peels, I mean peel up a corner a little bit and inspect. Did it all transfer? If not, press back down and start rubbing kind of firmly where it did not transfer and peel up again. Okay, and just keep doing that until the image you desire has been transferred. Okay, and then peel off. So now I'm going to take my stamping plate, and the one I'm going to grab is the Uber Mini Mom Mode from Uber Chic. I'm going to take the Gold Form Pretty stamping polish and grab Mom Life right there. Grab my stamper, my scraper, scrape, pick up, and then place over the flowers just under the middle line towards the bottom. And then we are going to go in with our top coat on our thumb so this does not get damaged or any hair stuck in it from where there's foil glue. I am going to set this off to the side. So for those of you who, you know, Mother's Day is kind of a hard time, whether it be bittersweet like it is for me, or say you've lost your mom has passed, or you've lost a child and you don't even have a rainbow baby, or you have a rainbow baby but you've lost a child, whatever the reason being that makes it harder for you, my heart goes out to you, and you guys deserve to be acknowledged as well. I understand that it's not always a happy time for people. Even though it's supposed to be a happy holiday, much like Christmas or Thanksgiving or other holidays, it's not always a happy time for people because you may not have that family. You may not have that support group. You may have lost someone dear to you that's in relation to that holiday, or was lost around that holiday. In fact, my mother-in-law had passed not long after Christmas, back in 2010, and that's still kind of a hard one for us. Christmas time is something that we get excited for, sure, because of the kids, but it's still a hard time for us because you know, she was loved dearly and would have loved our children very deeply. In fact, before we were even ready to have kids, we were only together for like a year. She was demanding grandkids. So you know, it is kind of a bittersweet holiday for some people, and that's okay. It's okay to not be happy during this holiday, despite what anybody else says. You don't have to be happy just because it's Mother's Day. It can be a sad time. And understandably, and it is a sad thing sometimes that, you know, these things happen. Some of us have estranged parents. Some of us, you know, have lost in so many different ways in these areas, and it's always best to just show kindness. When I used to work at our local Walmart years ago, before I got pregnant with my oldest son. And there was a Mother's Day that I had to work, and I normally don't. I don't normally request special permissions, with the exception of the days of their passing, because I'm just too much of a wreck to work those days. But Mother's Day, I had to work it that year, and they gave flowers to all of the mothers that were working that day. Hallelujah. So we're going to do our first coat of the purple on the index, the middle, the ring, and the pinky. So my husband, I love him dearly for this, because otherwise I probably would not have even had this much acknowledgement. But when you don't have any living children and you have lost a child, a lot of times you don't get acknowledged as a mother by society, despite going through all of that. And that year, when they were giving flowers out to everybody, I honestly didn't expect any because of this factor. But my husband told one of the other managers that was doing this to make sure to include the mothers that had lost children and didn't have their rainbow babies. And I was not the only one there that year that was in that position. There was one other coworker. She doesn't work there anymore. She was an older lady, and she never managed to get her rainbow baby, and she had lost multiples. And she had also received a hug and flowers for that day, despite having to work it. So I remember that very clearly. It was very sad, but it actually was relieving for once to be acknowledged outside of the pregnancy and infant loss group, support group that I was in. Because society doesn't like to acknowledge that. It's kind of a taboo thing, just like infertility is a taboo thing. People don't like to acknowledge that pain either a lot of times. Now, it's a lot better now, 10, 11 years later. You do see it some, but there's a lot of grief involved with it. In fact, come this June, it will have been 13 years since we have lost our daughter. And as far as we know, it was our only daughter. Our first one that we lost at 15 weeks suddenly, due to just a sudden delivery with no warning, was a boy. And the second one, we suspected the incompetent cervix, but they wrote it off as a fluke the first time around, but would keep an eye on it. I went into labor at 19 weeks, and I was able to catch it, but not in time. We were not able to get a successful cerclage placed, and they stopped the labor the first time, but I went back into labor 2 weeks later and ended up delivering her at 21 weeks. And at 21 weeks, the NICU would not take her. She lived for 3 hours. And she would have been 13 this year. My oldest son would be 14. And it's kind of a hard thing to deal with. Okay, so now we are on our second coat, and we are going to enhance the pigments, looks like. Or was this the first coat? I don't remember. I think this is the first coat. So, is it? No, maybe not. That didn't quite look like that was the first coat. That looked too deep. Because I got into autopilot and forgot what step I was on. Got me. Yeah, I think this is the second coat. Yeah, this is the enhance the pigment side. I was right. So there was a lot of trauma involved with that. And I got to hold her as she passed. And that was, I would like to say, probably the most beautiful, but at the same time, most traumatic experience of my life. And that's saying a lot, given everything that I have been through. That speaks volumes. And that one was one of the closest moments to my husband and I splitting up. That one was a hard one. And they were all hard in their own ways, but that one hit different. And I feel like the reason that one hit different is because I actually felt her move in the pregnancy. That was the farthest one out of all the losses. And I also got to hold her, and I had gotten to see her, and that was the only one of the three. The last one was an ectopic that took my right fallopian tube at just shy of 8 weeks. That one took me off guard. That was in between my oldest and my youngest, and we don't know if that was a boy or girl. I never thought to ask to have them test to see what it was, but that one took me off guard. I usually, when you have one fertility problem, you only have one. Generally, you don't have more than one. And mine had already been discovered. Something that, as long as we took the right precautions, could successfully make it to term, as long as there was nothing wrong with the baby. And we took the right precautions. But this was outside of the norm for us to have that kind of experience. There was no prior diseases that had caused damage, nothing that would have increased the risk of that. So this was a very difficult one as well, because it just completely caught me off guard. So when I got pregnant, we decided that we were going to try one last time, and when I got pregnant with our youngest, who is now 6, I told my doctor straight up, this is successful or not, this is the last time I am trying, and to have my remaining tube tied. So here we are. We have our beautiful little boy who is now 6, and my remaining tube has been tied. My body cannot handle another pregnancy, and my mental and emotional state of being cannot handle another pregnancy. So we're going to do one coat of the foil glue on all of the nails. You do not want to go too thick, okay? Thicker is not better in this case. Thinner is actually a little better in this case, because it won't like do a shrink wrap thing and kind of wrinkle. If you put it on too thick, because it's such a soft gel that's sticky, it will do this weird wrinkle thing when it cures if it's too thick. So you do not want this on super thick. You want it on thin. And then once you are done applying, cure for 60 seconds in the lamp. But all in all, I did have a good day for Mother's Day. My oldest took his tattoo markers and decided that he wanted to do a design on my back. So I let him do a design on my back, and he wrote this lovely Happy Mother's Day with hearts all around. Let me find it. And he was so sweet. He was so sweet during that time. So he had insisted that he had to do something special for me. And as you guys have seen plenty of times, I have lots of tattoos. So I have a love for my art on my body. So okay, so here's the fun. Now we're going to go in on the side of the nail right here. Let's see if I can get this to go nicely. And we're going to wrap around the tip with our lovely floral foil. press this in. Now, you don't have to use your finger. You can use a silicone tool to help press the foil in as needed. Hi, Peachy. And so for those of you who already know that our cats are about to be 13 years old this year, yes, they were, well, sorry, that they are 13 years old and that they will be 14 years old. They were, we got them the same year we lost our oldest son. So we got them as a part of the grieving process. We had lost our son, and then we had lost my beloved elder cat that I had had. He was quite old, and our female that we had gotten the year earlier that year was depressed. So we had gotten both of the boys to help her out and to help us out. And they were 8 weeks old, and they were tiny, tiny little things. And we have had them ever since. Now the female we had to rehome when we moved into our apartment because we could only have 2 cats. And because we were only allowed to have 2 cats, we couldn't take all of them with us, and she liked to be outside. And we were moving into a very busy city area, so we couldn't just take her with. So we had given her to a friend, and she was much happier. But we've had the boys ever since, and they are going to be 14 this fall, and they have been such amazing companions in all of this. Okay, so now we're going to take our foil florals again. Let's see here, and we're going to go across the top of the middle finger. Pressing down. For those of you who have showed love and support in my previous video where I was explaining the difficulties we were having with my son being bullied at school and how things are kind of hard to deal with doing videos and more complex manis and things like that currently, and due to the fact of lack of time to play with materials and products and things like that. So when we managed to get this settled, and we're hoping that this next school year they will not be in the same class again, reducing the incident numbers. Or maybe even better, hopefully this child will be put in a different school. One can hope. But I do know that, you know, we will make it through this. Just bear with me here on this of the simpler stuff for a little bit while I am working on getting things in a better place for my family, because all in all, at the end of the day, as much as I love doing this for you guys, my family comes first. And I'm sorry if that bothers anybody, but I'm not changing that stance. My family will always come first, no matter what. And I do like helping you guys out. I do like giving you guys the entertainment and all those other things that you guys watch my videos for. But I am never going to put this over my children. So I am going to forewarn you that if there may come a time where I may have a week where it's only one video, or I may have a week where, you know, I don't do any at all. And that would be an extreme example and the most unlikely thing to happen. However, it could potentially happen. So bear with me on that. I will try to forewarn you guys, if at all possible in these instances, because I can generally tell by the start of the week what the week's going to be like, and whether or not I'm going to have time. And if I am in the throes of getting my son therapy and getting him to and from and adjusting medications and watching him super closely, making sure there's no ill effects, or, you know, making sure that he has whatever he needs given the situation he's been put in by this other child, then, you know, I will not be available for everything. So I am doing what I can to make sure that I have content for you guys. However, I cannot guarantee anything at this current juncture. So we're going to put the last of our floral foils on the pinky, as you can see. I'm over here arguing with it. I'm just, you know, arguing with a nail foil. It'll be okay. But I'm going to do my best to make sure you guys have content. But I cannot guarantee anything, and I will not try to guarantee anything at this current juncture due to the fact that, like I said, my family comes first. So, okay. So now we're going to take these lovely, beautiful butterflies, and this one seems like it's the right size and in the reverse. So we're going to go and grab this one, not the smaller one I had over here, which is the same thing but smaller. And we're going to place that towards the, well, it was towards the top, but it's pressed down now. Towards the top but in the middle at the same time. So this one's just a little bit lower than I intended, but it'll be okay. Why, Peachy baby? Look, I already have your sister in my lap. Okay? I love you too, buddy. I love you too. You won't lay in my lap even if it was open. Leia, leave his tail alone. So I'm going to go ahead and pay the cat tax. I have my beloved husband's female in my lap, Missy Leia over here, Miss Princess Leia. She is quite the personality, to say the least. She loves beating up on her older brother, her older feline brother. She loves beating up on them. But she's also the sweetest thing to people. It's the funniest thing ever. She's constantly beating up on the older boys, though. Constantly have to get on to her about it. Okay. So press down. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Love that. Okay. And of course, you do have plenty of leftovers, so get yourself a baggie or something and you can put the remaining bits of the sheet, or just never cut the sheet, but it's a lot easier to work with in smaller pieces like this. So, you know, get yourself something to store it in, and then you have all of these extra butterflies as well without all the waste. Now, granted, foils are still pretty cheap. Incredibly enough. I don't understand how they're so cheap. Such a useful tool, but they are. They're pretty cheap. They're one of the cheapest products I ever got back when I was in a car accident in 2020 and had gotten a settlement. It wasn't a real big one, but I had gotten a settlement and I'd bought some products and kind of built my stock up. And I had bought a bunch of foils. And they were next to nothing per container. Like a big container of them like this was, like this, was like $3. It was insanely cheap. And buying packs of them was insanely cheap. They're very cheap to get, to say the least. Now, the Macart kits came with like multiple packs of foils and multiple bottles of glue. Those were more, but those were only like $15 for multiple packs of foils and multiple bottles of glue. And in fact, because I bought all the different multi-packs of Macart's foils with glue, I actually ended up with a lot of bottles of glue that I'm still working on years later. So that's something. I don't recommend going all out and just buying a bunch of foils like ones like I did in that manner and then having way more glue than what you could store. I don't recommend that, but I do recommend picking up some. They are absolutely awesome. This is very difficult to do with that lovely, beautiful girl in my lap. Good grief, Leia. You are something difficult to deal with sometimes yourself, aren't you? Okay, so I'm taking Uber Chic's Uber Mini Mom Mode, and we're going to grab, I think this is the right one, right? No, it's the Mother's Day one. Mother's Day. Not Mom Mode, Mother's Day. Wrong one. I'm looking and I'm like, wait a second, this isn't the right one. Okay, I'm going to grab Mom and Ain't Easy. It's like, look at the side. That's not the right phrase. Grab my stamper. And like last time, I didn't pick up as nicely as I would like. So I'm going to grab a detail brush. And I'm going to fill in the, where's my detail brush that I'm looking for? There it is. Oh no! You know what? Before I get more cotton in the foil glue on these nails, let's go ahead and top coat the 3 that are not getting stamped on. Oh man. So we're going to go ahead and top coat those nails. Sorry if I got out of camera for the top coating. I think I did. Leia, baby girl, you know I love you, right? You realize this is not easy to do with you in my lap. Because I can't bend properly. It's the reason why I was out of camera. Because if I bend, I'm going to squish you. Yes, my sweet little thing. I know, Dad's not home, so you're going to cling to Mom. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and zoom this in because, yeah. Oh, don't go blurry on me. Focus. So we're going to fill in these little spots here that did not pick up. All right, dang it. To the tip of the brush, thank you. All right. Put my detail brush away. Line this up at the bottom of the butterfly. Place down. And then we're going to go ahead and top coat. Make sure I have it in the camera this time. It's my beloved feline that I love so much is being clingy this particular morning. I guess it's probably afternoon now. Okay. So now we're going to put in the lamp for 30 seconds. And we are done. So nice, simple, easy mani for Mother's Day, or from just moms in general, however you want to put it. Let's get this clean here. Good grief, this one was not very clean. I hope that you all had a good holiday. Leia, you are difficult to reach past right now. I love you too, my sweetie pie. I do. I love you too. You're such a sweet little thing. Yes, you are. You're such a sweet little thing. So, one last time on the cat tax, we'll show little Miss Leia. She's such a sweet girl. She's a love bug, and she's such a pretty baby. She chose us. We were not intending on getting another cat when we got her. She chose us. But she's been such a sweet addition. And I couldn't imagine life without her. Much like I can't imagine life without my boys. My beautiful little felines that they are, along with my children. Those boys as well. I couldn't imagine my life without them. And I imagine a lot of you feel the same way about your own moms or your own kids. You couldn't imagine life without them. So I hope this was I hope you all enjoyed this video, and that this video was either helpful or entertaining, whatever the reason you were watching this video for. I hope you all are having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be, wherever you're at while you're watching this video. And until next time, guys, thank you all for watching. Bye.